hope you're well on this Tuesday evening. Now, if you're a regular bus user, you've probably got a tale or two and an idea about how to sort them out. In West Yorkshire, the Mayor is kicking off a debate about who should run them. Our transports correspondent Spencer Stokes has the background, and he's been to meet a very disgruntled passenger.
Basically, you're abandoned by buses. We want a bus service, but we can't call it a bus service.
Can public control of the bus network make Dawn's journey into Cleckheaton easier? Her service has been cut back to hourly, but often fails to arrive.
I go into Cleckheaton, can wait at the bus stand for the bus, and don't turn up. I've got to wait another hour for another bus, and hoping and praying it actually turns up.
There are a multitude of different bus operators in West Yorkshire. They decide on fares and routes and how often your bus runs. Public control, or franchising, would put West Yorkshire Combined Authority in the driving seat. There would be one bus brand for West Yorkshire, with the authority and mayor setting routes, timetables, the frequency of services and fares. Bus operators would become contractors.
Bus companies know how to run bus services best, but they are national companies. They understand the business of running buses. They don't necessarily understand the specifics of West Yorkshire and what matters most for all of our communities. That's where the Mayor, the leaders of the councils, local councillors can really add value. This is common practice in most cities right around the world. We'd like to be able to reinvigorate interest in bus travel here in West Yorkshire.
In many ways, the clock is being turned back 40 years. Famously, in Sheffield in the 1970s, buses were cheap, frequent and run by the council. That ended in 1986, when the system was deregulated by the Conservative government. The idea was private companies would compete, operating new routes and reversing a post-war decline. But that failed to materialise.
Change is needed essentially because of a chronic lack of funding for the sector, which has arisen in particular over the last decade. Whatever regulatory system you have, it's very much dependent on funding to both improve the roadside infrastructure and to deliver more buses.
£15 million has been earmarked for setting up the system, but there'll be additional costs once it's established, buying depots and buses.
It's a huge gamble of epic proportions. We're talking about hundreds of millions of pounds of people's money, and I think the majority of taxpayers would be extremely uncomfortable to realise that they're the ones on the hook if the numbers don't stack up, and I don't think they do.
It'd be better if it's all under one authority rather than being a company that doesn't listen to the passengers, because we do need a bus service that actually works for residents.
Alternatives are being examined, but the government is no longer opposed to public control. Greater Manchester, with its brightly coloured B network, has recently made the move. West Yorkshire could be next.
Well, Spencer is here to tell us more. We're at the start of this process, Spencer, so what does it actually mean and how likely is it that we're going to see change?
Yes, so the consultation has started today, runs until January in the new year. The Mayor, Tracy Brabin, will then make a decision on whether to go for this public control model, also known as franchising, or she could go for more of a watered-down version, which wouldn't give the combined authority quite as much control. And then if she goes with the franchising, she goes into the mayoral election next year saying this is definitely what they want to do. If it then goes ahead, 2026, completed by 2028. So it's not a fast process. It will take about 5 years until we get that control. Why are they going for it? It's due to that big decline in bus use over the last 30 or 40 years since privatisation. That's what opponents of privatisation say, but if you look back, that big decline in bus use actually began after the war when people started buying cars. So you're trying to book a 70-year trend.
Spencer, we'll keep coming back to this, I'm sure. Thank you.